Good morning. In this video, we will analyze a very important topic discussed in the column Kerala Economy. The column Kerala Economy is attached below this video, and which is in English actually, and videos giving a brief outline of the contents discussed in the column in both English and Malayalam is also attached with this video. Economics, like the pure science, is all about fixing problems. It's about fixing the problem. To know, it's about analyzing what is happening around. The solution is the next step. So economics, especially, is about it's about the dilemma. It's a dilemma actually. It's about the mismatch between the resources available and the wants that must be met. It's about that must be met, because when you use the word must, it means priority, and if it is about priority, we have to give up almost all that weighs you down. And what weighs you down is the extravaganza, the expenses that could be that you could dump, that you no longer want to afford. So it's about fixing the problem. It's about fixing the solution. So when you fix the problem, this is the issue, and we have to tackle it. That is when we find solutions. But in the case of Kerala economy, the problem is actually not fixed. We haven't yet zoomed in on what the actual issue is. Even if the experts, the economists, or the other social scientists have found that this is the issue, either because of some political priorities or political confinements, the issues have been rather ignored. It has been fixed somewhere else, and people learn to live with it. But the last 3 or 4 decades, and especially last 2 or 3 decades, the biggest issue has become more penetrating. That is the issue of climate change. And this climate change, induced by the change in lifestyle, is what we have to analyze. Climate change, which is a universal phenomenon from the beginning of the universe, or from the very day this universe is born, is something beyond reach, something beyond it's beyond what we can conceive. So it's about the issues that we have to address. It's about the issues that we create, and it's about the issues that we can address. And here we are going to analyze it in an economic prism. It's through an economic prism. The issue is, how can we address climate change in our limited means, or rather, what is our contribution to the global initiative for a war against climate change. The war is actually, this war is yet to begin actually. Whether it's a case of Kyoto Protocol, whether it's a case of all the initiatives brought in, the so-called developed countries are unwilling to. It's yet to begin. It's awaiting a start. The start is yet to get triggered. So when when you go deep into it, there are a lot of political issues. Just you can't go into that. The issue is how Kerala can tackle it, why we need to tackle it, and the kind of economic burden that it creates, and how we can sort of weigh down this sort of unburdening. You can, if you can use that word. It's about the vehicle population. It's about the pollution caused by the road traffic in Kerala. We are talking about zoonotic disease. We are talking about man-nature conflicts. We are talking about man-animal conflicts. And yes, the issues in the kind of movements happening in Netherlands, where we have discussed in another column, where the Dutch citizens have kind of revolted against the Dutch Grand Prix last year, despite the present champion in Formula 1, one of the leading racers is a Dutchman. So what does all this indicate? There is a kind of occupation. There is a kind of space erosion happening for human beings. More close encounters with nature. The encroachment of nature, the encroaching of privacy of the forest dwellers. These forest dwellers include animals. This has created a new lifestyle where we could get a disease. We are sensitive. We are susceptible to all kind of disease that we are unfamiliar with, because these diseases, these kind of virus, it is something that we never even heard of at least 3 or 4 decades back, because it is not something that is designed for human beings, by God to be precise, because there is a border which we can't see, which we won't see, border set by the Almighty. It's something that we are not destined to cross, or so we are not supposed to cross. When you cross that, and when you call it development, when you call it growth, it creates a different kind of situation. Everything that has been, so it's not a speech on climate change or nature conservation. It's about the issues that we are encountering. Let's do pardon for deviating from the topic. So it's a reality that the climate change induced issues are here to stay, unless and until we are willing to address it, we are willing to accept it. The first thing is accepting. That is what we were talking in the start of this video. We have to fix it. To fix it, we have to analyze that there are issues around, and that is what we are telling. The kind of congested roads in Kerala, the kind of vehicles roaming around in Kerala, the kind of pollution that it is creating, the kind of diseases that it is creating, the kind of burden that this inflicting on the economy, the kind of congestion that this creates in this medical arena. All this has to be considered as an economic cost. How can we give up that cost or stop incurring that cost? That is what we have to analyze. The disease is coming up. It is a kind of expenditure that we are constantly incurring. The lifestyle diseases, the expense that expenses that we make, or we are forced to do, or forced to incur, is also an economic cost induced by climate change or lifestyle change. So there is a cost. This is a cost of development. It's a development cost. You can call it that way. Something, or the technologies, the initiatives taken to speed up the activities is supposed to reduce the expenditure. If the journey is 6 hours, we have to reduce it to 3 hours. If you are doing it in 16 hours a few decades back, you can do it in 3 hours. But it's a kind of cost management. But there is a cost that we are incurring on the other side for these 13 hours saved, for the days saved. And that is the cost that we have to analyze. That is the cost here in this case of road transport, or the kind of the kind of congestion, the kind of pressure that it creates on this vehicle economy. What is happening there? That is something that we have to analyze, and we have to link it with this green economics to find a solution. That's what we have been telling. It's the time to fix the solution. It's the time to fix the issue, fix the problem. This is the issue, and this is what we are going to address. How can you address that? How can you fix it? That is the very first thing. So let's start. Yes, that is what it's about. The new alternatives. It's about the tax structure. That is the first thing that we have to understand. A new tax structure that has to be introduced to promote a green driving or a green traffic, or rather to decongest the road, because there is a power shift happening globally. We are looking for alternatives to the traditional oil. The Russia-Ukraine war, the present war going on in Gaza, and many of these things create a kind of imbalance, uncertainty in the social fabric of the developed economy, where they began to think about alternatives. If some crisis happens, they don't fix the solution, they go for an alternative. And that is the first important casualty. It's not about fixing the problems, it's about an alternative. It's about an alternative where the one crisis that we are supposed to address is never getting addressed, and it just goes on in a parallel way, or rather in a parallel line. And that is something that we have to analyze. The spending pattern of airlines, the private financial institutions, the loan structures, the easy availability of loans, and that has created a kind of vehicle boom post-globalization, post-social media, and right now in the post-COVID arena, where the exposure to global events, global taste is becoming more. It's becoming more. The exposure is getting more. There is lot more exposure. So there is nothing that is unfamiliar. And the arrival of private banks, the kind of loans, as told before, the easy access to credit, that has created a kind of vehicle boom, where the roads in Kerala is almost it's a kind of it can break any time. It's a you don't even need a needle, it would break. The roads, the maintenance of roads, it's a political issue, and it remains one of the most corrupted arena in Kerala's social system. It creates a few wealthy businessmen, it creates a few wealthy middlemen, it creates a few wealthy politicians, and it creates a pathetic picture of Kerala around the globe. Apart from that, the lack of road sense, where the vehicles and the roads, they never meet and they never match. It's a kind of chewing more than what you can swallow. The congested roads creates an economic bubble where you create a wealthy private financial lenders or institutions, even if it is recognized, and money getting stuck in this vehicle arena, just like how it is in the real estate boom. And you see an economic bubble apart from this the climate issue. The congested roads and the pathetic roads, the low quality roads, they go hand in hand, and it becomes an economic casualty, it becomes a natural casualty, and it becomes a social casualty. It's about the incentives to not use these vehicles. How can you stop people from using indiscriminate use of roads? It might sound impractical, but it is a practical, pragmatic solution where you bring up new regulations, new laws, new restrictions. You could say it's restrictions, where you block people from consuming this way. It's a kind of consumption where we consume roads, we eat these vehicles. It's not the kind of restriction on the number of vehicles that that house can have, number of vehicles, the kind of vehicles an individual can ride. You cannot have such restrictions in a democratic society, and especially in a socially progressive Kerala. It's about de-promotion, if you can say, if you can tell it in that way. It's about making something that very unattractive. The first thing to make unattractive is these loans. The moment it becomes very hard to access, very complicated, like it has to be discussed by experts, banking experts, economists, policy makers. There are different ways. Just like loans can be given only by national banks, or these loans need this kind of documents, or it has to be just like how we tax these tobacco and all these things. You must make sure that there is a proportion maintained where we don't exert too much on these roads. When you exert less on these roads, and when you create a new regulation, a new kind of strict road regime, where the contractors, the councillors, the politicians become accountable for a poor road, a new kind of road awareness. It's kind of road awareness, where a new kind of road traffic. It's a new system. A whole new thing arrives, where sensible, discrete usage of roads, and a high quality roads, highways, where the contractor, the politician, the local politician, and all the authorities are accountable for a single road accident happening just because of an issue with the roads or the issue in the roads. When these two things become a criteria, a must, it creates a different ambience. That is where the issue starts. Or rather, that is where the issue starts. And when that issue starts, when you realize that there is an indiscreet sub-quality usage of roads in Kerala, a kind of lack of road literacy, we come to find solutions. How can we find the solution? Is it by taxing? Is it by de-incentivizing? I don't know whether such word exists, but it's a kind of lack of incentives. It's a kind of, it's very costly. I won't be able to buy cars at will or bikes at will. That creates a different environment. It's an economic boom. Absolutely, you get lots of money back, a lot of money back. Second thing is, a decongested roads creates a new road sense where then we get the time, money and space to address the issues related to green traffic. And then we must come to the public transport system. There is Cochin Metro, there is Vizhinjam container terminal. We are talking about sea routes, air routes, rail routes. Is there any way to decongest the road traffic? How can we promote public transport? Is it by the quality of roads? Is it through a high quality public transport system? And then we come to think about Cochin Metro. We can also come to discuss KSRTC. How can we free KSRTC from this chain of politics, mismanagement, all this utter chaos? So you have fixed the issues, and now you find solutions. You are talking about solutions. These solutions were hidden, or rather suppressed, something that where the light was diverted. You are not supposed to throw light to that areas, or the lights are supposed to be hidden from there. You can't fix it. The moment you go, the moment the torch goes there, there will be someone who will kind of grab it and take it away from you and show that torch to some other side. So these sites remain hidden, and we are going into that hidden areas where we can find something that we were not supposed to see. For the politics, we are not supposed to see all these things for the sake of politicians, because they don't want these solutions to happen. They just want issues to remain unresolved, and we are finding solutions. We are talking about public transport. We are talking about KSRTC. We are talking about loans, and we are also talking about loans that can reach the farmers, that can reach the entrepreneurs, and we are talking about self-reliance. Then we are talking about roads, scientific, accountable roads, green, decongested traffic, sensible utilization of loans, financial independence through self-reliance in agriculture. We are talking about entrepreneurs. These loans will be if the private financial institutions are supposed to give loans only to entrepreneurs and farmers. What will that create? You are getting into solutions. You are entering solutions. So now we have fixed the issue. The issue is green economics. The issue is roads that are an economic burden, that are a green casualty. And that is a big social trauma. So the next thing is, yes, something missed. I was supposed to tell one more thing. Yes, it's about a new government app. I just missed it. Like the Uber, like the Ola. If the government, a government app where the auto rickshaws, the taxis, if they come together, they come under a single umbrella, that creates a different kind of scenario. There are too many reasons for people not opting vehicles, or not opting this autos and taxis. And there are different reasons. But with this rising oil price, ever rising oil price, the relevance of public transport is back, and these autos, these taxis, they become part of our development. It's their life change. It's about the way people think change. It's about change. We are talking about change. It's about changes, different changes. Different sectors come together, unite, and it creates a common ambience. An ambience where we talk about green economics. We talk about sensible utilization of resources. And this road is a resource. You cannot congest, you cannot suffocate, you cannot strangle. So you can feel it, you can find it. You could when you hear it first. When you hear it for the first time, you feel like impractical utopian joke, but it is a reality. These issues have to be addressed. We have to understand that the lifestyle is changing. The office, work shift, everything is changing. We need autos, we need taxis, we need a public transport. How can we give it a more convenient face, or a more accountable, organized ambience? That is through the intervention of the public sector. And this public sector at the state level is the government. It's not about government entering directly. It's about a regulation where you understand that there is accountability and there is a government watching, guiding, and with us. So that creates a different ambience. So, as we said before, a government app is a possibility, and it is a reality, and it creates a different ambience. So let's fix the problem first. Accept that there is a problem, and when you accept that, you are directly going into solutions. So when you find solutions, let's debate. There will be conflicting opinions, but you are sitting on solutions, and these solutions will take you to new ideas, new possibilities. Thank you.